created a new age DJ. Now, how does this DJ work? You see, in events, the way the DJ works is, mimi nataka that you condition the crowd to want my music. How do I do that? I see you, wewe kama DJ ni kuone kando, right? Ni kuone kando, I give you something and tell you, watese na wimbo zangu. One time, a musician who is my friend confessed that one time he was invited to a very big festival in Kenya. And when he was about to go on stage, you see the way the events are planned. You have a big artist go on stage, they perform. Akitoka kwa stage, you have a DJ set as an interlude to prepare for their next artist. Now, the expectation should be the music that is being played by the DJ or the mix, that hype set, should be music for the guy who's coming next, so that the audience is psychologically and physically prepared to bring this guy on stage. Now this guy goes on stage. He's in the backstage, preparing to go on stage, and the interlude was around about 45 minutes. And for 45 minutes, the DJ religiously played Sauti Sol music. This guy was supposed to go and perform some rap music. You can imagine the tension he had backstage, because these people have already been conditioned kusikiza wimbo soft. Eh? Na wewe unataka kuenda kuambie, mimi siogopi. Nashindo, nini nakusumbua? Why are you shouting? So, in those questions of disruption, before you get to the technology itself, what is the human disruption? Thank you.
Wow, let's clap for him. That was informative. We would like to continue with this engagement discussion, but we have time bad. So please allow me to usher in the next presenter, who is, let me just read the name here. Pardon? Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I just said that there are those who had, we didn't engage with the ritus. So I hope, one question that you'll need to think about, maybe this live stream or live, what he called live music. What do you think about it? Isn't it encouraging loneliness? As much as you're in that house, enjoying that, are you really enjoying? Because I thought when we go to a crowd and it's live, like now, we engage with you one-on-one, it's more enriching than when you're alone and seeing people on the screen. Isn't it encouraging loneliness and then the associated effects, maybe depression and so forth? So let me read. That's the disadvantage of using somebody's gadget. Okay, I'll read Veronica's profile, and this is what it is. Veronica N. Mwai Ngujiri is a career teacher with nearly 3 decades of successful experience as a high school music teacher. Besides classroom teaching, Veronica is an avid and passionate choir director. She believes in inspiring confidence in students through her music lessons and choir performances. An alumnus of Kenyatta University, Veronica is a Master of Music Education student at Kabarak University with an interest in popular music inclusion in secondary school music curriculum. This she believes will inspire more students to learn music. Inclusion of popular music will ensure that the students are aligned with the current music landscape locally and internationally. Help me welcome Veronica with an applause. Thank you. Welcome, Veronica. Are you there? Oh, Veronica, are you there? No. I understand she's not there. So in that case, I understand Clement is around, the one who was presenting and didn't complete. I don't know whether to allow him because, or we wait for Veronica. Just give us 1 minute. Meanwhile, you can continue to ask your question. I said we had not engaged another presenter. That is Nderitu. Great. Nderitu, are you there? Oh. Okay, just write your questions. I don't know whether we should now read them or not. No? Okay. Right, so anyone who has a comment or something to say about what Mr. Amon has just taught us? Yes. Kindly.
Aman has presented a paper on technology, and my question is about or relates literature review, because he's told us it's not readily available. I can't very well remember the source of literature review. So what does he advise us to do? Where do we get the literature review, especially those who would like to read more about the technology I said? Because if it's not readily available, it means we need more. Okay, maybe are we going to read magazines or journals? It's a growing genre. That means, it means we are coming up with documenting what is happening in this field of study. So apart from what he got from, is it USA? Where can he advise us? We go for literature review, or we only Google and so on? The second question is about piracy. The question is about, there are these artists who are, may I use the word dismantling. You've already come up with the doctor, let's talk about Wekesas, good music. And somebody is now using that as a source of his area of career. So it's not dismantling what Wekesa has done, and he's just picking a portion. Now, who should be consulted about this?
Thank you for those questions. I think we'll let, is it Nderitu? Are they directed to Nderitu? To Mr. Amon. Okay, Mr. Amon, if you're around, please, you can kindly, you have some time to respond to that. And I'll add is covers, so a form of piracy. Anyone, I'll need a student to answer that for me. Please, come, one of you. Covers a form of piracy. Yes, Ix. Hey, clap for him as he comes.
Good afternoon. My name is Ix Mabila, and responding to the question are covers piracy. Speaking to this matter, it's a gray area, especially when the cover prospers more than the original song. It tends to draw attention of the artist, and at that point, you may be stricken by copyright, maybe copyright will find you. But however, in most situations, covers are are recommended because it's also a way of exposing the original song to other audiences that maybe the artist himself or herself was not able to reach to. So doing covers is beneficial for both parties, you as an individual who is doing the cover and also the artist who has written the song that you are covering. All in all, I think it is important to always recognize the artist for the making of the song as a sign of appreciation. That is it, and that's all.
Thank you, thank you. Let's clap for him. That's what I call thinking on your feet. And please, students, be ready to answer a question from me. At this point, let us invite Veronica. I don't know if I should read her profile again, but we've already, Veronica, can you hear me? Veronica? That's what I was talking about live. Is it live stream? Live stream. What are the effects? You talk and yet you're not talking to somebody. Yeah? You imagine the person is feeling you or hearing you. Veronica, can you hear me? Kindly ask her for me.
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon, Dr. Tari.
Oh, good afternoon. I've already read your profile, so kindly go ahead. Welcome. You could share your screen, please. Go ahead.
Sorry, Veronica.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you are welcome.
I'm glad to be here. This is my first conference presentation. I'll be presenting on the future of music education in Kenya learning institutions. And at this point, I wish to say that I have a bias for secondary school because that is where I've spent more than half. I'll be making a reference is to examine the learning and teaching of popular music. And for me, that is that easily resonates with people. There's a commercial element in it. Also easily accessible and available to a wide range of persons. Music is a subject of special interest. Learning very well. Besides value of popular music and the pedagogical issues that may affect the inclusion of popular music in the curriculum. From history, I have found out that
Thank you very much, Veronica, for that presentation. I hope you're preparing questions for her. And next we'll have Mr. Clement Oko, and this paper they've done with Dr. Masasabi Nancy. This is the presenter who had internet issues, so we welcome him back to continue from where he stopped. Welcome. Can you hear me? Clement? You're muted. Kindly unmute. I can't hear you. Kindly unmute. Hello? Clement? You're muted. Kindly unmute.
I tell you from my experience, you need to unmute him.
Okay, we are doing that. Thank you. Sorry for that, Clement.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Is everybody able to hear me? The audio on your side is a bit low.
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, for anybody who is joining us, allow me to share my screen so that we can continue the discussion we were having earlier. Here we were discussing and we have been exploring the compositional devices employed by Soul. And I had a little network hiccup. It went off when I was trying to comment about our guest speaker who had spoken about us Kenyan, us Kenyans, and he discussed extensively about how we have lost our originality over time, and most of our related from the West. And so Sauti Sol is one of our own that, and they have created quite a good impression in the international, both here, both nationally, East African region-wide, and also internationally, as they have won awards. And today we want to discuss on the elements of music and how they manipulated them to maintain relevance. I was discussing rhythm at that particular juncture where when my network went off, and now on rhythm we had looked at meter on this meter on the particular song that we had chosen earlier. We found out that all of them were in simple quadruple time. And if we are to, so sorry for that, this one has moved way forward. Let me take us back to rhythm, where we're talking about rhythm. So I also looked at a few rhythmic motifs. Let's say, for example, in the song Mafunzo ya Dunia, you find that there is a recurring rhythmic motif that is on the second part of the third beat in every bar. So it's in a simple quadruple time, but when you look at the the second beat of the second beat, and the fourth beat, you find there are semiquavers there that recurs on every after every step, the second on every bar of the second beat and the fourth beat in every Now, let me take you through tempo really, really fast. And on tempo, the songs range between 82 crotches per minute and 120 crotches per minute. So the slowest song we looked at was Kulikojana is one of the tracks that is 82 crotches per minute, and then 100 crotches, 120 crotches per minute, that was Rayako. Let's move quite now to harmony. On harmony, we investigated quite a number of things. We were all looking at the harmonic progression of the song, whether or not they've used modulation, polychord, and use of both primary and secondary chords in their composition. Now, I'll just cite some of these songs that have this harmony, and they have other songs that have very interesting progression. For example, let me give you a song like Awinja, the instrumental introduction we have minor. So we begin on a C minor 7, then proceed to E flat major, then to G major 7, then to E flat, then to another E flat again, then to A flat, then B flat, and then E flat minor. Oh, sorry, E flat. And then let me also check at another song that they've used like Surayako. Surayako has a progression um, that modulates to the relative minor. Sorry, the song modulates from a relative minor to a relative major. So in the verse, we have the minor key. We have the F major chord followed by an major chord, then followed by another C major chord. And then in the chorus, we now shift from a minor key to a major key. We have there C followed by an F followed by an F, E, 4, and then followed by the G. Now, there is also use of polychord. Polychord is a chord that is used on, there are two chords or two common chords that are played at the same time. The existence of this can be seen in the song Coming Home, where there is a C sharp major over D major. Okay, now let me move you, let's move to timbre. Now, on analyzing timbre, we realized that their music is the quality of their sound is grounded in the following selection of instruments. The first one is electric guitar. We have the acoustic guitar, and we have the electric keyboard. Sometimes they use synthesized sounds. They also use occasionally here and there natural sounds like birds. You can hear birds in the song Awinja, and you can also hear the sound of a train in the Midnight Train song. There is also the more on the percussive instruments. You can hear the conga drum, and sometimes kayamba, shaker, and tambourine are alternated in these different songs. So let me just give a few examples of these songs that have these different instruments. If we look at a song like Melanin, you'll find out that Melanin, they've used the conga drum and the tambourine. And there is an acoustic guitar that begins the piece at the instrumental introduction. But then when you go to a song like Susanna, you will not find the they define the electric guitar, and then the just the drum set is not defined from that. So all these instruments will alternate from one song to the other, but they differ in terms of roles. For example, when I say electric guitar, you'll find there is an electric guitar, one performing rhythm function and another performing the lead function. So some of them will be divided in terms of role. There's also the electric bass guitar that we will not work on the that is unique that we found on coming home is the violin. This instrument, this is the violin as part of their timbre. Now onto form and structure. The form and structure, we found there are two structures that they use. The first structure that has been used is a strophic form. The strophic form is found in a song such as Awinja. And then another structure that we found they've used is also the rounded binary form. Rounded binary form can be seen in songs such as Coming Home. Text and lyrics. Now, on text, we have tried to scrutinize their text and lyrics under the number one, the things they try to explore on their compositions. These themes include love, religion, civic and political themes. For example, in one theme that is love, which is the most prevalent, is we find songs such as A Winter is a Love Song, it's a song that talks about love, and then we have Coming Home, another song that talks about love, and then Surayako. Now, on religion, we have two songs. The first one that talks about a religion is Kuliko Jana, which is purely religious. And then we also have the Midnight Train, which is also a manifestation of faith, faith in the face of adversity. Okay? So, and then civic and political theme, among the 10 songs that we were looking at, we only found one that talks about the men in the blue uniform, the role of policemen, and the plight of the youth. Okay? Now, languages of the text. These people on Sauti Sol have used an array of languages in their compositions. The first language that is mostly, I would like us to look at is the Swahili language. Swahili has been used in a song such as Kuliko Jana. We only have one language, that is purely Swahili. And then there are other songs that they have mixed both English and Swahili and Sheng and a mixture of languages. For example, the song Mafunzo ya Dunia, there is language mixing. For instance, you will find them use the word such as movie, the movie, which is a derivative, it's a borrowed word from English word. Okay? Another song that they combine the different languages is like a song called Blue Uniform. And I like us to also look at Susanna. Susanna, there is an English, there is English, there is a French word, there is a Latin word, and there is also Luya and Swahili present. So it has a lot of different languages coming in together. Susanna Vahane Kenjere. Okay, those words are Luya languages and the word such as Lycée, that is from the French, and then Rio de Janeiro, which is a place name in Latin America.
Clement, you have 2 minutes.
So, for now, that is all that I had remaining. Thank you so much for being good listeners, and I hope to get feedback and questions.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Let's applaud him. Thank you. So we have 2 presenters, who have presented. We have many more, but I think for today, we'll have those ones because of time. Mr. Wekesa will come and update you on more. But let's have questions, please. Let's have questions for Madam Ngujiri and Mr. Clement. We will not give you time to think about them. If you don't have, then we are about to close. I have some questions or something for the presenters to think about. They can respond to that if they can. I'll start with Madam Veronica. In your presentation, you are talking about future. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what about now? Aren't we already in the future? And what you are highlighting in your presentation, what are we supposed to do with it now? Because from our previous presentation, we are talking about being in this technology development era where we have even come to technologies like AI and so forth. So what do we do about now? Because the future for me is already here. Then for Clement, I'll ask you, okay, I like your presentation, but why Sauti Sol? And is it possible to take all Sauti Sol's songs and analyze the way you have done in one, just analyze, put them together and analyze in one maybe paper or presentation? And then the other question is, after you have analyzed, I don't want to say so what. What will we do with what you have analyzed? What was your purpose for doing all this? Why analyze? So what after that? If you can answer, I'll really appreciate. And meanwhile, if we have questions online, could we read them? Or you can unmute and ask. You're allowed to do so. The audience, kindly, if you have one, ask now before I allow them to present, to respond. Just one question, then we can. Yes, sir? Do we have a mic for him? If not, come here, please.
Thank you, Veronica. My question is about data collection and the qualitative data. No, not really qualitative, but quantitative. Okay, it's about which criterion. Okay, in the criterion of percentages, kindly may you tell us exactly, because I'm also interested to know why pop music is loved in secondary schools and not Christian music, not gospel music, but which criteria, okay, in the percentage criterion, kindly tell us how are the percentages, what are the discrepancies? Thank you.
Thank you. I hope you got that question right. So let me allow you to respond. We can start with Veronica. Veronica, are you there? Okay, if Veronica is not, okay, go ahead.
For the host to unmute me. All right, maybe I will go to first of all, to answer your question or just comment on your sentiment. The future of music education in Kenyan learning institutions. Yes, I agree the future is here, but is it reflected in our schools? But in the future of music in high school, and the curriculum we have now is not reflecting on the future. And that is why I'm saying, for us to survive, or for us to actually stay on and be relevant in terms of music education, I think we need to build a future in our schools. First of all, making a deliberate action to include it. It is not included. I know there is something about it in the curriculum, but it's still not structured because we are still training teachers. We are see them in secondary school in 2026. We have to go back to school to be trained on how to instruct popular music. When we talk about the issues, especially the issue of pedagogy, it is very gray. The issues of inclusion also are not very clear. And that is why I say, as much as the future is here, we have to receive it in our schools, and that is why we are saying in this conference that they used to be brought so that we can be able to have posterity in terms of music education. Otherwise, what we have now is redundant in terms of the future of music education as it is presenting itself in terms of technology and in terms of the economic value of our music. I want to also comment about
Thank you very much for that response. As you're talking, I'm just wondering, what should we then do? It takes me back to what the keynote speaker had spoken about. Like we look, he made me think like we are culturaless, if there is such a word, children. Culturaless children in music. We don't know our own. We are just people who want to borrow from the other side. But then at the same time, we are living in a world where we are talking about global citizenship, and some people have written, they have written articles on globalization, where you take the local and then put in what is in other cultures, because we are living in a global world. So how do we marry the two? Because classical music is there as one of the global music, and our cultural music, in this case Kenyan. What do we do so that we can be able to? So in other words, this is a song that has been sung in many theses and papers, articles, journals about the African countries doing Western music or not putting in, teaching what they are supposed to teach. So who will do this for us? How will we do it? Veronica, I think maybe that is what to think about. How do we go about? Is it the curriculum? Who will start it for us? Maybe if you can't respond to it, think about it. Yes. So she's talking.
Yes, I am vegetarian.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's a lot of echo from your side.
Not now.
That's just mark timing. We need to make a step. Someone needs to make a step, and the advocacy, so the curriculum developers until the policy makers actually make a step is what is missing. But when you make a step, then there are other things that also need to be done. So the step needs to be made.
Thank you. I think you and I will do this. All right. So let's come to Clement Oko. Kindly respond to the question. Sorry, Mr. Kiamba, was that meant for Veronica or? Okay. Oh, she has. Okay, great. Mr. Clement, please. Are you there?
Thank you so much for the question you had asked earlier. Let me just recap on it. You were asking why Sauti Sol. Now, Sauti Sol is one of the musical groups from Kenya that managed to capture our attention for the longest time. In groups before, but most of them succumbed to other things. But this group is the group that has lasted longer together. And other than that, this group is quite interesting in the fact that they have won numerous awards and they have been nominated and musician represented by. Let me just mention a few. We have they have the African popular music. They have done music. They do Afro pop, Afro fusion. They have done collaborations with that. Now, for the future of this, you have just had uh, I've just had the former speaker, Veronica Njiri, who has just spoken about the future of popular music getting. So this kind of information is not, it can only be found on their music, but it has not been published as an article or as a journal where we look deep into their compositional styles and devices. So this study will be very element when it comes to us putting the popular music or into study into something that can.
You, maybe later on. Fourth one. Very much to us. I've been your moderator, Dr. Joyce Mochere, School of Music and Media. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, those who are following and those who are here face to face, good evening. It's a great day. I'm very happy that finally the Lord has been faithful. People don't know who the speaker is. My name is Fred Kusman. Very important to note this. I'm the chairman of this conference in the School of and Media. There are presenters who succumb to our control. We've had them until tomorrow. So don't feel you out. Prepare your have a chance to present tomorrow. Our conference will end officially tomorrow at a time I cannot tell because we have numerous of papers that need to be presented tomorrow. You do not want to miss this. We are going to have great presenters, great scholars tomorrow, and we'll begin because we'll not have day. And I want to encourage all of us to log in early. We are using the same link that we use to ask for another. If you have a at the top, our moderator, the main one will be Mr. Benjamin, be working with us. Have two drivers working with him. I may be on while look camera. All performances that all today will be. I can't wait to take this opportunity to thank everybody, beginning from the Vice-Chancellor and the manager. Our two able heads of departments in the Department of Music, Department of Mass Comm, our colleagues and students who have stayed on since morning to this time. It has given me great pleasure to be your chairman. A very able clap for me, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much. Not mentioned your name, and I cannot forget our technical team. These guys are the ones who have made it possible. Let me mention in person, Chelsea. I'd never known that we have this kind of person. I even said we shall quarrel a little later because some of these things we are doing, even delegated to this kind of people. We are really encouraged doing, and please, I doing these things because that is the only see. we are very happy with the work you are doing. Our participants on the online platform, kindly, we appreciate you, but we would like to encourage you tomorrow to be a little more active, asking questions and engaging with us down here. That is actually the flavor that we need with conferences. When the discussions ensue, that is when we benefit. As to take home these arising from the presentation made by the keynote speaker today, documentation of our African musics, our African performing arts is the reciprocity of literature when it comes to stuff related to our African music performing. Let be a wake-up call to those who thought that by engaging into research for purposes of documenting our own African musics and performing art, enough for us to engage into research. Very, very, very clearly, despite the fact that a very, in the words of the Vice-Chancellor, a 5-kilogram book, untapped. We need to work, you and I, to shift our focus and get African music and document. Thank you so much. I pray to close the day. Father, we thank you because you have been faithful. When we began the day, we asked you to be with us, and indeed you have done it. And as we pray that your journey mercies shall accompany every one of us to our respective destinations. Even as we plan to wake up tomorrow to under program for the conference, be with every one of us. Be with our speakers. Sharpen their minds, give them. So pray for our audience and our students. Health. We thank you because of